Hello everyone, my name is Steven, and today I'll be showing you for the one and only. And today you are grateful, because you know what today's first anniversary means, don't you? That is my custom wooden railway Bart. So Bart is a Lila class one, and yeah, I got this from the Ohio State store where they have this beautiful sets of those, and yeah, it does kind of remind me of the Lila class, so I got it. Alright, and I added some details of customs there, like for example, for the face. I try to look like Bart's exacto face. And don't worry about the gray outlines for it of the boiler. You could see with the side. I can't really see this nameplate, but kinda. I'm sorry. But I originally gonna add the whistle there. Unfortunately, it doesn't have enough room there. The cap side looks good. The rear ends is like, kind of remind me of several of the engines of the narrow gauge railway, of the Pound Glen ones, you might know. The side, pretty much the same. Although I did add some black roof there to represent as the cap roof there. Yeah, I did some yellows there. The shades of yellow, red, and orange. And yeah, it looks good. But you may see from my scenes of it from dedicating the Railfan number 1 and the previous one I showed you. And yeah, I first made this custom like last August. Yeah, that was last August. Last August I did some customs of it. So if anyone wonder, how did Bart came to the Crovens Railway on Railfan number 1 series? Well, here's the history. Long ago, in around 1891, Bart, along with his sister, Lila, was built on the Heritage Engines Company in 1891. While Lila's number is 554, and Bart's number is 555. They were built for the Italian State Coal Quarry and International from 1923. Quarrying states was determined by the length of the quarry, which provides accurate for the bricklaying and incline and drumhead, and so the incline of the Welsh Heritage Railway to Dulwich joints. However, the two were bought by the Napoleon Quarry in 1989. They moved from the Aquarian to the Penrith in 1928. Was vast for routes and the forms and over when the HRR ended, transferred to the LMS gauge wagons to work for the Dynasts to Portland. They were unloaded of the 21st of May of 1928 after some overhaul. They were sent to the quarries, although the representatives and size had brought them on the work of the melody. They spent working on the Parana quarry, especially with the lime roofs Later, Pan modified, removing some sandboxes, running plates, and reloading the whistle from the top of the cab on the roof. Of the front, sorry. They worked really hard until both engines was failed for the test on 1955 and was lapped up after some major problems with it. Unfortunately, there was more problems than ever. Lila was taken Bernard and Lantha brought Lila and her sister in 1963. But poor Bart was abandoned. But by then, in around 1980s, the company of the Irish culture brought Bart to Ireland and to help out with the narrow gauges railroad segments. He done pretty well on his coaches and shunting, and he even made friends with Luke. Unfortunately, he has troubles with his own. Had problems. He has problems with bullies there, and threatened them for it. The names are Sandy, not the Lola, and Greg. The three boys had been teasing him, thinking he's a childish engine. But he wanted to prove him more, and ended up having trouble with coaches. But he could not pull coaches. The manager saw this and ended to his pulling coaches. But then tragically starts. Bart, on the other hand, was pulling his usual goods trains until an avalanche struck him. Bart tried to manage to quick away from the avalanche. Unfortunately, the rocks gave way and ended up hitting Bart. The crew jumped clear and poor Bart dragged along in on a landslide. And poor Bart was completely damaged. The Irish control, I could not believe his eyes, so they have no money to repair him. And soon, they were taken into an old shed. He was long awaiting until someone came to the rescue. But that was until in around of July of 2021, Miss Miranda, the controller of the Covensbury, found Bart, and she decided to restore and purchase him. In no time, in around August of 2021, he was taken to the steamworks for a big major repairments. And by then, and then in around the same day of this one, of last year, he was arrived at the Covensbury, and he met good friends with Duke, Freddie, and Money Mac. Although he does have a little problems at times, like he's learning again with the coaches, and he's still pretty good, handles well with the freight train. But then, he didn't know it was called a gravity train. While Bart is resting on the water tower, the gravity train cars roll down. He thinks it's a runaway, but luckily his chopper coupler had stopped the train. Although he ended up getting into trouble. However, it ended up Duke and Mr. felt a little bit proud to make sure the passengers are safe and sound. And nowadays, he's more careful with the gravity train. In around October of 2021, Duke told Bart the story of Smudger and Baldwin and how they got faded away in the first place. Then, in around this year of April, there is trouble. Coal has been left there, so the Crobins Railways had to be ended up as tourist attractions of it. It took several months there to wait for arrival of coal there until August of this year, which is right now. There's more coals for the Crobins and more coal and from many different places and countries. And thanks to this, the railway of the Crobins Railway was saved. They did some major test rolls. However, they did have a little test starting up with the lavender. And since the steam engines are now working in action, and the Crobins Railway is back in business, although they will have another engine, but this time it's not going to be a steamy. It might be a diesel somehow. But that's another story. So yeah, that's the whole history of Bart. I know this custom is really good. Yeah, I tried my best to make it like a custom Winter Rate Bart. Railfan #1, if you're watching this, I hope you enjoy my custom Winter Rate Bart and the whole histories of it. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.